Just
Okay.
kidding.
So we'll wait a few minutes, I guess, till everybody gets on. Oh, who's that back there?
Shadow?
Marco, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Sure.
He just finished some of his classes. He's already done. You say hi?
Hey.
Anna, say hi.
You say hi?
Yeah.
Hi.
Who's that?
Who is it? Hi, guys.
Why do you need this?
For photography.
Anyway, so I'm not sure. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to turn on. There's a chat that we can put here on the side, I think. Everyone. Can you guys see that if you turn that on? I'm not sure how to do this, but let's see. Can you guys see the chat that I turned on? Okay. So we created a YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it. I got so much stuff going on here. I don't know how to find it right now. Hold on. Anyway, I'm going to send you guys the link for it. And it's going to have everything recorded that we've started doing. We have some of last week's stuff already on here. And we're going to continue to put things up so that new agents can find information. Whoops, hold on. How do I get here? There we go. Let's see if that works. I hope that that's the right link. Anyway, hi, Michelle. Oh, I have something fun to show you guys. Hold on. So Matt and I were talking a little bit earlier this morning about how, you know, everything's changing right now. And although the specifics of what we all need to do to continue in our business are changing, the fact that we still need to do things remains, right? Because if you sit at home on the couch and just kind of shut down 2 months from now, you know, you're going to find yourself with nothing to do. So if we could have like a little heart star of the day for people. Michelle, yes, she's rolling her eyes, is still filling out her 411 and still sending it to me on Sundays. This is outstanding. And some of the things on this sheet, maybe you got to change the way you want to do them, you know, and approach them, but you're still being mindful of what you need to do or what you want to do and what your goals are. And so that's the mindset that we all have to stay in, or at least try to stay in, because we know we're kind of wavering in and out depending on the news, and when we're all sick of heading to the refrigerator 10 times a day, you know, wondering who we can get a hold of, or if we feel silly, you know, or intrusive talking to people about business, you know, because you don't want to sound selfish or anything like that. So it's just about finding different ways to get the same thing done, right? Acclimating to new environments, 20 different ways to skin a cat type of thing. Matt, what are your thoughts?
So if you're not, I don't know if whose that is, but if you're not speaking, if you can mute your thing. So I don't know if it does it automatically. I don't think so. I have to click on mine. You can just hear background noise. I spent the other day kind of moping to myself. I was, you know, it was bothering me that like I felt like helpless, right? I think a lot of people kind of feel that way. It's like, you know, I know we're helping by not doing anything, right? Containing things, but in terms of like my own personal business, it's like I'm not driving anything forward. I'm not moving anything forward, or at least that's my feeling, right? My thoughts. I read something that a real estate coach had posted, and it was kind of along the lines of, you can go down one of two paths right now. You can actually think, well, I set out these goals, there's no way I'll ever achieve them now, pretty much should just throw in the towel and crawl under a rock. And then the other is, well, almost like the naive, like, well, it's bad, but I'm going to continue, and I'm going to show houses, and I'm going to go out there, and nothing's really going to change for me. And the reality of that is that it is changing. I mean, I suspect in a little bit we're probably going to get an adjusted mandate to stay in our houses, and not be able to show houses and things. And then obviously, if you crawl underneath a rock, your business isn't going to go anywhere at all. And I'll say this: I know that we're long term, we're all going to be okay, right? We're going to survive this. It's just a matter of, what does that middle time look like? And it's hard when you are, for those of us who are not only working from home, but you have kids here, and you have spouses, and everyone's in on top of each other. Or on the flip side, if you're just alone and you're like a people person and you're just not around people, Michelle, you're not able to go to the gym. I mean, I get that's got to be agonizing, right? So the thing that I just keep telling myself is that I have to do something, right? I can't do nothing. I have to do something. That something is different though than it was a few weeks ago, right? So when we talk to new agents and we talk to you guys, and it's like, are you hosting open houses? Are you door knocking? I mean, all of these things to generate business, like, you just can't do right now. And it's tough, so I guess the question that we would propose or ask, that Sharon and I were kind of talking about, is what can we do right now, right? Because I feel helpless, right? But if I look at the things that I can do, the things that are on my to-do list, right, that I would want to do if I had all the time in the world. Now I do. Now I have the time, right? Obviously, I'm still working deals and stuff that I have, but I'm not in the office. I don't have a commute. I'm not getting distracted. I'm just at home, having the ability to catch up on things. So, I guess I ask you guys, what are your thoughts? What can you take this time to do, whether it's a lead generating, a lead follow-up, and working on your business, or something else that's just going to make your mind not turn to mush, like paint your fireplace or whatever. Open to everyone's kind of thoughts.
On me?
No, not at all. I wish you could come over to my house and do some projects. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on things that you could do, right? So you're not just sitting around waiting for it to get better, because we know it's going to get better, right? And on the other side of it, if you've done the work in preparation, you'll be able to reap the reward. But a farmer has to plant his seeds before the summer, where they can grow in order to harvest them in the fall. And I feel like we're in that period of time right now.
So let's brainstorm, right? What are ways that you had been planning or have been lead generating? Let's make a list. What are ways before all this change you were lead genning?
Before it changed, open houses.
Okay. What else?
I was going to run some Facebook ads.
Some Facebook ads? Okay. And what were your Facebook ads going to say?
Well, I was going to be directed around like my listing. Just kind of, what's new, and if you're looking to make a move.
Okay. What other things? Open houses, Facebook ads, what else?
I've been sending out mailers. I sent out a little over 500 on Friday, and then
Okay.
I got one call yesterday. So I'm going to keep at that.
So what other old ways, let's call them old for this conversation, were you guys employing?
Door knocking.
Okay. So what else?
Just like lead gen in person at, events that you're going to, not even necessarily real estate events, but
Okay, like face to face.
yeah.
Anything else? There's a big one that's missing. Does anybody call people that they know?
Oh,
I got
Ooh.
a phone.
I don't know. Does anybody?
Yeah.
I posted. Did everyone see this thing I posted like last week? I had gotten off of a. I'm sorry if it's loud. I've gotten off of a webinar hosted by the coaching company that Ben Kinney owns, and you know, one thing that I found really interesting is like he specifically said, "Listen, guys, the scripts that the Tom Ferry scripts of yesterday aren't going to work right now. No one's going to want to talk to you if you call us saying." Who do you want? Who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I mean, that is, you know, that is an insensitive and almost naive to what's going on conversation. But at the same time, doesn't mean you don't have those conversations. I think this is the time you're going to get people on the phone the easiest and the best, and they're going to want to hear from you because we're all like craving this like social contact, right? So reaching out to people, starting with the people that are closest to you, just by saying, you know, how are you? How is this affecting you? Is there anything that I can do? Is there anybody I can connect you with? You know, even if you don't have a solution, just allowing someone to vent and talk, right? People just like, you know, want to just kind of share, right? And, you know, just to let them know that you're here from them. You know, I did a post and I boosted it just to my sphere on Facebook, right? So it didn't go to all my friends, but I wanted it to go to my sphere. And it was just like, hey, you know, I'd like to say business is, you know, it's business as usual, but it's not, right? And the point was not to fearmonger or anything like that, but it was to identify the fact that it's not normal right now. And it's probably not going to be normal for a little bit, but I am here for you and I'll be ready to help you. And if you want to have a conversation in the meantime about it, I'm here, right? And that's kind of the compassionate person where you're just, you know, there for someone, that genuine relationship. Because when things do get better, or when they do pop up, because people will have to buy, people will have to sell now and in the future, you know, they're just going to think of you as someone who's, you know, just there for them. I know my buddy who I listed his property in White Lake, that listing expired. I had actually withdrawn it, but for whatever reason, the system actually, when the date reaches up, it still notifies all the services as an expired. He texted me. He's like, dude, what the hell happened? I've gotten like 8 phone calls from agents today. And I said, oh man, sorry, you know, this is whatever. I didn't really explain to you. He's like, no worries. He's like, I'm curious, do people actually get business from this? Because right now, he's like, I just seem like I think it's a terrible time to be calling people about that. And it just kind of made me think that, you know, I don't want to be lumped into that group of agents. And I'm not saying don't make calls, but there's a difference between calling your people, calling your sphere, and being there versus hammering expireds and FSBOs right now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
So I've done a couple ads this past weekend and I'm getting leads coming in. And so my guess is to be sensitive at the same time. How would you approach that follow-up if you want to reach out to that lead?
Yeah. I think if you're doing something that's generating leads, I think the rules still apply in terms of following up. Speed to lead, and reaching out to respond as quickly as possible. I think then though the dialogue that happens to convert that lead is just different. And the way I look at it is, I love the people that are doing Zoom buyer consultations, because I think it's a great way to utilize technology, have a face-to-face, and still move your business forward. Because here's the thing, we know that if you get a buyer lead, right, and you get them pre-approved and you do a buyer consultation, you know, they might buy in, you know, 1 to 3 months. That rule is still going to apply. We just can't go out and show houses today. So what can we do right now? We can go over the process with them. We can get them pre-approved. We can, you know, go through a Zoom conference and this is what it's looked like. You know, we can screen share, pull up MLS and show them on their screen of what, you know, to look for on a listing, or what a seller's disclosures look like. A PA, you can go through a PA with a buyer on a consultation by screen sharing. All of these things that you could do face to face, I suspect many people didn't, But now, like, we don't have an option. Like, you can't call a lead and just say, hey, I'll call you back in a month when we can go see houses. I mean, that's silly. You can do a ton of stuff right now and develop an immense amount of trust, I think, and professionalism, and then say, hey, you're on the deck when this blows over. We're going to be out, and they're going to be prepared, and you're going to meet them in person for the first time. But it's like you've been internet dating for a year, you know? So I love the fact that you guys are still thinking about lead generating in terms of hosting ads and stuff, because that is something that you don't want to just put a stop to. I do think you want to be smarter. I've limited the mailers that I'm sending out because I was doing like 7 neighborhoods, right? And I toned that back to only the people that are that have kids at my kids' elementary school. So it's like a third of that, but I'm still going. I'm just being more purposeful because those people already know me, right? So I dialed it back a little bit. But in terms of lead generating new business, I think that you just have to, you know, this is the new cadence of events that we do. You know, the next thing is we do a Zoom call. The next thing is this. It's just different than it was perhaps in the beginning or in the past.
So
That makes sense? Thoughts on that, Sharon?
yeah. Well, I was just going to go back to, you know, I was making a list of traditional lead generating activities that we've been all doing and keeping each other accountable to do. And what I would like to do is brainstorm together as a group and hear from you guys what you think alternatives to that would be, so that we can all still feel like we have a task to generate the leads that then we can go to technology and continue to cultivate, right? So for instance, on the list, well, we had Facebook ads. Can we continue doing that? Yes.
Yeah.
Your message might be different, but yeah.
Very good. So what might you put on a message?
Well, I
Kinda like-
Nick's webinar the other day about the price reduction one. I thought that was kind of a creative idea. As far
Tell
as
us what it was. I didn't hear his webinar.
he showed how to do a Facebook ad, and then somebody asked, as far as, because a lot of times when you do a Facebook ad, you're promoting a listing. So one of the things that somebody asked him was, okay, well, how can I attract buyers if I choose to try to do the attract buyers? And he went through the process of using your website to drive people to your website by going through the area that you're targeting, like let's say Livonia, and going through and pulling up all the price reductions in the last 7 days, and it'll show on your website, and you basically can use that link and use the link on your Facebook ad to drive people to your to your website.
That's a
And
great idea.
just another way of saying, hey, if you guys have been looking, you know, during this downtime, you know, kind of thing, and, you know, here are some of the properties that in the area that you might be interested in that have reduced their prices in the last week. You know, if something you want to learn more about, click the link, you can see them and review them.
That's
That way
fantastic.
it drives them to your website. So I tried one of those.
Yes.
I haven't gotten a lot of, I've gotten a lot of, as far as the return right now, it just started yesterday. I've gotten 2 leads from that one, and then I've gotten 15 leads from the other one, which was promoting a listing.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, the listing, the direct, you know, we always get the most bang for the buck of like a great listing, right? Good photos, you know, click here for more details, kind of see that. I just saw that there's a 3-week mandate.
Oh, is that
was
what it is?
issued.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the details for real estate or closing transactions, but we'll see. But my point is that you're advertising a listing. It's kind of like, oh, hey, click here, stay in 3 weeks. It's a little bit different of a message. But I do like, you know, using the same house, right? And the message, like Megan said, a little bit different, saying, hey, you know, get your ducks in a row so you can buy this house, you know, in 30 days or something to that effect. It's like, click here for the essential 4 steps to buy your dream home, you know, or something that's a little bit kitschy, like, you know, because people want to, you know, oh, sure. I thought you were on, you were speaking. You know, something that's like, you know, what can you do now? Not insinuating that like everything's stopped.
I also think that investors are going to really come out of the woodwork right now if they perceive an opportunity for a deal, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, back to the price reduction scenario, if someone's been on the market through the winter and all of a sudden they see another 45 days of a real slowdown, they are probably, depending on their situation, very motivated. So if you can find a way to craft your text, your copy to somebody like that, you know. My own personal experience with my fireplace painting this weekend is that I have been tossing around the idea of moving myself for probably 3 years at least. And the thing, aside from where would I move and, you know, all those things, is to get my house ready. I have this little list on the side of my refrigerator. Oh, and I have to repaint the bathroom, and I need to switch out these doors, and I need to, you know, it's possible, you know, it's a conversation that you can have, a kind of script with your sphere that you say, I'm taking advantage of all this shut-in time and I'm fixing the house up, you know, fixing that trim around that door that I never did when I finished painting the basement 2 years ago. I mean, you know, right? Things like that. And perhaps I'll fall in love with my house all over again. Or perhaps in a month, I'm going to be the first one that's ready to stick a sign in my lawn because I'm ready. And that's just a honest conversation, right? And then part of that script could be, hey, if you end up deciding that you want to see what's out there after you finished painting everything in your house, let me know, right? Give me a call.
There's a lot of these funny memes going on, and I'd just be careful about being that realtor that posts that kind of stuff. To each his own, though. But essentially the message remains the same. And it's exactly what Sharon said. It's like people are going to feel that they either love their house or they don't love their house. I mean, that's real, right? So when people talk about like the spring cleaning, spring fever, I mean, that just is normal in everyday normal market. This is just exacerbated, right?
And that kind of conversation might be best on the phone too. You know, maybe doing that as a Facebook text would look a little maybe salesy or taking advantage, but that's a great sphere of influence thing. What are you doing around your house? You know, as soon as the weather starts to warm up, start taking care of your yard. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities potentially.
Yeah. And again, we talk about just being a resource for our people. You know, maybe they want to do something from a home improvement standpoint. Who can you put them in touch? All those kinds of things.
Okay, so another thing that was on the list was open houses and door knocking. I don't know. Is there an alternative to that anybody can think of?
I mean, I've seen people do those Matterport, but you don't have to already have it done, right? Posting those.
Depends. I don't know. Is the house vacant? Is it not vacant? What's another way maybe you could get a virtual tour of a home? Maybe it's not Matterport.
I went. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Tasha. Your video's not on. Can you turn your video on?
Girl, you don't want to see what's going on over here.
Okay.
But I did a virtual tour. I did do an open house this weekend, but I didn't have like a big turnout. But I've been doing virtual tours. So I will go to the house, and like one of my clients, we did not Facebook Live, like through Messenger. Mm-hmm. So I called her through Messenger, and I kind of walked through the house. So any door she wanted me to open or any closet or whatever, I just kind of did that. So the house was vacant, which helps. I have a listing and it's tenant occupied, so I'm having more challenges with that. But that's been working so far, so they don't have to come out. And like I went and did 3 houses like that for her. So it's just me. The houses are empty. I'm cleaning my way in with my Lysol wipes and everything. but anything she wants me to open, or any questions she has, or anything in particular she wants me to see or get close on, that's kind of how I've been handling that part so far.
That's good. So maybe, and these things are few and far between, but it's always a nice little kind of tool to have in your belt, maybe. If you have a client that's looking at houses on the MLS and there's something they wish they could see, call the listing agent. Maybe they'll call the homeowner and say, hey, can you walk around your house and just take like a little video with your phone and send it to me? I mean, at least you're trying. At least
Right.
you're getting them one step closer. And maybe when things loosen up in 3 weeks, they'll want to actually physically go and look at it. I mean, imagine if you could create some kind of a situation where 4 weeks from now, you're like busy.
Popping, right? What do you guys think about adding an addendum or some kind of line item? Like I see like some investment offers where they're like, you can't tour it until there's an accepted offer. But since people aren't really able to view the property in person, but they may want to make an offer based on what they've seen so far, what if they go and see it in person and it's like the neighborhood or something where they're like, no, I don't want it. Do you think we should be adding something like that to our PAs, or what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, you gotta look at this from two sides, right?
Mhm.
You could say, here's an offer contingent on a physical walkthrough of the home,
Mhm.
right? So that's from the buyer side. From the seller side, how would you receive that as the seller, the listing agent? You may say, okay, I'm going to accept this contingent on you walking through, but I'm not marking it pending. It's
Right.
not, there's got to be a way where there's an agreement, and I'm not sure how you would write that up, where, okay, you're first in line once everything opens back up. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's a bad idea to have a conversation like that. And you could probably write something up.
This has just been so kooky. Like, okay. Because at some point, and then the the pre-approval only lasts for so long. So
well, you could reach out to your lender and get that extended. Although, I don't know, are there going to be issues with that? That's up to the lender. We are not experts in that, so don't start.
Right. But I'm just thinking somebody that's trying to sell probably doesn't want to sit on their house for a month, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know. We're definitely in uncharted territories for sure.
And it's going to take creativity, open-mindedness, communication. This is going to be a time where we need to really talk with each other, buyers, sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get caught up, and how often do we all say to ourselves, don't project what I think they mean into what they're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for that. We need to talk to each other. Everybody's cards need to just be out on the table. So if you have a situation like that, Tasha, you can talk to the listing agent and say, hey, this is the ultimate goal that I'm trying to reach. And I want to protect everyone. We're really interested in your house. We want to be first in line for it. We're willing to show you how serious we are, but how do I protect my client and yours, right? And creatively, you guys can probably come up with something that would make some sense if you have someone on the other side that's also open to being creative like that and cooperative. I think it's a good idea. Shows value.
Okay.
So with open houses, a good alternative might be doing something virtual if all parties are open to it, right? Mailers. Sharon, you said you were doing mailers? That's awesome. Did you change the content of those mailers because of what's going on? Or how could we change that content maybe?
Yeah, I just changed some of it. I said that, no, it was true. I picked a condo association and there was a unit that conditionally withdrawn. So I mentioned that and that my buyer was serious and ready to purchase.
I just noticed that Sharon's in the office.
Yeah.
I just saw those
Yep.
poster boards back there.
What?
Good for
Hey,
you.
now, thanks.
Is there anybody in there?
Pete.
Oh,
Just Pete.
oh, you should bring Pete in to talk about those addendums about.
Oh yeah, I could. Do you want me to grab him?
No, you should bring him in to say hi. It'd be fun.
Okay.
There you go.
I really wish we could get Pete's forms on a Zoom some kind of way. I have an agent that our deal is falling apart, but I think it's a training issue on his part. So I would like to invite him to a training, but we don't have one right now. So
Matt and I were actually chatting about that this morning as well. And of course, it's not necessarily up to us, but I'm going to suggest it to Pete. I don't know, maybe Pete and Rob have already talked about it. I'm not sure, because I know they're working on digitizing a lot of our training. Is he coming?
No, he said that he'll be calling either you or Matt in the next couple hours. He or Rob.
Ooh, sounds
He
serious.
just stepped up.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh.
No, not you, Matt.
he is
I've
just
got
moving his mouth and not saying.
I got a call with the ALC at 1:30 to delegate the training calendar. So Rob's just been frantically kind of redoing everything. So suspect it to go back to normal-ish, but all digital. So stay
Cool.
tuned.
Okay, so mailers, you said you switched the copy up a little bit. What'd you do?
I just mentioned that inventory is even more low, that we have serious buyers, interest
Right.
rates being historically low. Changing on that.
Good.
Seeing what happens.
You know, it's funny because what is the number one thing that people say? Oh, it's a great time to buy, or it's a great time to sell, right? It always seems that we're talking out of both sides of our mouths. And I think people are like, all right, roll their eyes. But really, like, if you were a buyer and you were waiting for like the perfect storm, not only would it be like the historically lowest interest rates we've seen in a long, long time, but also like a hesitation out there in terms of what's going to happen where, you know, buyers can kind of take advantage of the situation, if you will. So for those buyers that are out there, I mean, again, perfect storm. Sharon said some, you know, investors, but even just a regular buyer. I mean, you want to talk about we're approaching the spring market, interest rates are crazy low, and there's some uncertainty there. Like, I mean, if you're, you know, and does that can apply to everyone? No, probably not. The person who's working in a restaurant or worried about their job, they're not going to have that uncertainty, and that's okay. We just have to be okay with that, right? Doesn't mean we don't talk to those people, but we just kind of keep them on the sidelines, and we try to evaluate the people that are absolutely going to be confident with what's going on, or at least enough to make a decision to jump forward, and just try to identify those people, right, and provide them the value.
What's another thing you guys can do? So when you did your mailer, was it something automated, like you had an address list and you just created like postcards and had them mailed out, or what?
So I picked like a subdivision, and then I picked a subdivision, and then I watched videos last night on how to like mail merge. So I'm gonna try to do that, where I'm addressing it to the family and to that specific address, saying that I do have a buyer looking for, like right now I have a buyer looking for a home in this area that's 1,600 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. And then I mentioned that
Wait, what area?
Plymouth, and then I mentioned that with the current pandemic inventory is even more low. Sellers are withdrawing their homes. And what happens?
So I have a listing that's coming up probably the second week of April. It's in Canton,
Okay.
Hanford and Lilly. It's a split level with 4 bedrooms. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. Like a deal.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
where these kind of things happen, right?
Yeah.
So another way to do mailers that's not automated like that might be what?
I personally have been wanting to send something out to my neighborhood and my mom's, which is like the next neighborhood over from me. Just something like more personal, about me being a realtor, right? And like living in the neighborhood and living in this half-mile square area for the past 36 years. So now would maybe be a good time to do that.
It'd be great.
Because I don't feel like it would be like, you know, super like salesy, like we were saying, being insensitive to things, but more informative and, you know, friendly. I don't know. I haven't like drafted anything yet. I'd have to think about the content. But.
So my kids, as part of their school agenda, I guess you could say, each day they're each responsible to write a letter and a little note card to someone in our family. And you know, obviously we send out birthday cards and stuff, but this is just a white envelope, white note card, nothing on it. They have to write and draw everything on it. And since they've been sending them out, which has only been a week, like family is like ranting, raving about receiving them, something in the mail, right? And it's, you know, partly because no one sends anything on the mail, or like, you know, not just a mailer or a flyer, but like a handwritten note. And I was just thinking, like, you know, Sharon and I were kind of talking, like, what if I did that, right? What if I was doing that to my people? You know, how would that impact them in receiving that mail and actually having time to read it and think about, oh, this person's actually thinking of me, you know? So, Megan, if you do that to your neighbors, you could take the route of printing something out, throwing a business card in there, or you could also take the time, which we kind of have, to write out something that's more personal. And or maybe, you know, combination of both, a flyer with a little note at the bottom or something like that. But the point is that personal touch to it, where people feel a little special.
Right.
So this is my, I don't know, challenge or homework or whatever you want to call it for you. You just said, you know, you haven't even drafted anything yet, and it's something you've wanted to do and you haven't done. Why don't you get out, you know, your calendar for the next 3 days and tell yourself, by the end of today, I'm going to have something drafted, right? And printed or written, whatever. By the next day, I'm going to put together my address list. By the next day, I'm going to address all the envelopes. By the next day, I'm going to stuff them and stamp them all. Like, give yourself an agenda and have it all out by the end of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
What's something else people can think of?
In regards to mailers or just in general?
Just how to keep the wheels turning so that when things kind of unlock and loosen up, you guys are positioned to help people with their choices, right? So they may hate their house or love their house by the time this whole thing is done. But they're going to have that choice to act, you know, on one or the other. How can you be positioned to be the one that helps them?
Hey, Sharon. It's Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hey. So I just was calling some of my families from school, my kids' school, and just asking how they were doing and, you know, everything else. And then in conversation, one of the parents was telling me that their daughter wanted to paint her bedroom, and so she's painting her bedroom and things like that, and that got them motivated because they had really always been wanting to sell, but their house they felt needed to be spruced up. So she said they've been painting, and her husband's been washing walls and all kinds of stuff. So she said as soon as this craziness is over, then we'll be putting their house up. And that was just kind of like, I started calling, of course, more people that I like have a relationship with at the school, but just kind of going down the line and just, you know, taking the time to introduce myself a little bit more to those families that I didn't know and just say, you know, we have this common denominator that our kids go to school together, and you start talking about the teachers and things like that, and just more of a relationship. And then, you know, I obviously kind of like slide in there that I'm in real estate, but just wanting to call to ask how they're all doing and how the kids are doing and things like that. And we've started in our neighborhood, I don't know if anyone's seen posted, but like the bear hunt. So we all, like my neighborhood, oh, are you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the neighborhood next to us, we started putting teddy bears in our windows for when families go on walk, then you're going on a bear hunt. And so I just kind of started reaching out to people that way, you know, like asking if they're going to participate and things like that. And then of course slide in that I'm in real estate. So I don't know. I'm just trying to take advantage of like any little thing I can bring up in conversation.
That's awesome.
No, absolutely. If you don't get out of this with your database being buttoned up and full of information and like reaching a health score of like 100%, you're just wasting the time, because now is the time. It's tedious to link a Facebook account to someone's profile and to, you know, see what their birthday is and all that kind of stuff. I mean, now we have the time to do that. All right. So, you know, all that information is going to be extremely valuable, you know, going forward, and you're going to regret not taking the time, the downtime rather, to button those kinds of things up, to make that listing presentation, or write that buyer consultation, to review that, you know, pre-approval guide, or, you know, all the different things that you can do, because there's a lot we can't do right now, and you know, just the important thing is don't replace that with doing nothing.
So how about on Thursday, we can do some like script and role play, like virtual, right? Because like Michelle, right? She's got these leads, and if she's able to convert them to do some type of a meeting online, let's talk that through, right? Let's pretend, and we can do some different objections and throw a couple different people on the hot seat just real quick, right? Everybody doesn't have to do some long thing, just quick little back and forths, and see how we would handle it, and get some tips from each other. What do you guys think? Would that be helpful?
Sounds good.
Okay. Also, Wendy, I don't know if you guys noticed, Wendy has this class with this guy, what's his name? Adam Hirth, I don't remember his last name. But
Hergenrather.
Yep. It's called Thriving. What's it called?
Thriving Every Day.
Thrive Every Day, right? How to work in this new business landscape. It's free. It's Mondays and Wednesdays for a half hour until April 15th. So like 3 weeks. I signed up for it. I'm curious. Let's see what they have to say, right? If you want, here's the link. You can just click on it. I think that'll be pretty interesting. Oh, Matt's taking a phone call. So what else? Are you guys worried about anything else? Or I don't want to be negative and say, are you worried? That was like probably the wrong way to lead into that question. But
Has anybody heard from Phil at all?
he went, I know that last week he wasn't, or earlier, what day is today? Monday. Last week he had a funeral he had to go to, so he was going out of town.
Okay.
I'm not sure what day he's going to be back.
Okay.
I think it was Wednesday he left, maybe. I remember him talking about needing to go out to California too. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if he ended up, I think they were talking about driving out there. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. Has anybody heard from Randy?
I know
I
he's,
thought he
well,
was
I've
on.
talked to him because I'm actually the Facebook ad was his listing. I was
Oh, nice.
listing, so I know
How's he
he's
doing?
doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that he put that condo up. I saw the ad. So that's good. Anybody else? Has anybody talked to anyone else that's not here?
Well, I was just surprised because usually I would think Phil would want to be part of this. That's why I was wondering, because I reached out to him after our meeting on Thursday and I just hadn't heard back. So I was just wondering if if everything was okay with him and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think he's out of town.
I talked to Lachey
Oh
day
yeah.
before yesterday, and she is just, I think she's high anxiety.
Yes.
So she is just quarantining herself. I'm not even sure if she's been doing much of anything. She had a buyer that she was really excited about working with, and then they kind of backed out on her, so a little disappointed because it was a high price point. But I gotta talk to her and
But
see
I
what
wonder
her.
if they backed out just because of the whole situation, or did they back out on her? Right?
No, they backed out, not even because of COVID. They were gonna buy a house, and then they were having some marital issues, and then she just decided to lease instead of buying. So yeah.
Oh, is
So
this
it
her
was,
sister-in-law or
or aunt or someone. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yep. So I mean, like, she understood that, exactly. So she understood, but in everything that's going on, this is where that drunk monkey kicks in and you start to worry about money and, if I can't do a deal, how do I do a deal? Like all that kind of stuff.
So how do we work through that? We work through that by continuing to do activities. The activities aren't going to be exactly what they were 3 weeks ago, which is what we were trying to brainstorm, right? We're not going to go door knocking. We're not going to do traditional necessarily open houses, but we can do virtual showing, virtual meetings with our clients. We can still call everybody. And what's really funny is when we were brainstorming typical lead gen, calling your sphere of influence, nobody said it.
Oh yeah.
That's like this, eat the frog thing.
Yeah.
I love, what Kim was saying was exactly what I was talking about when I painted my fireplace. Just call people, say, how you doing? I'm going crazy. I'm eating too much. And I think I'm just going to clean out my basement. Because once I clean out my basement, then I can paint the walls of my basement, and then it'll look like it's a little more finished. And maybe I won't be as embarrassed if I ever decide to sell my house. I mean, it's that. We just have to have conversations. That's all. That's the business.
My sphere, I've gotten some referrals.
There you go.
And I have 3 new buyers through my sphere referrals. And I took one guy out to look at some houses. He's a little bit all over the place as to whether he wants a house or a condo. But I am just, like, my hands smell like Clorox wipes. I've cleaned more doorknobs and lock boxes over the past 3 days than the law should allow. So I'm not sure.
Maybe you need to do what we were talking about, reach out to the listing agents and see if the homeowners will do a quick video around the house.
Okay. Well, 2 of these were vacant.
Okay.
So I'm like,
it's easier.
And he's not very technology savvy. So the whole idea of like a video thing, like some people are a little weirded out by that. Like they don't trust that some kind of way. So
bless you.
Like, oh no, but I got to get off the Zoom. Somebody sneezed, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's paranoid in that way.
Is this guy like super high priority? Like he wants to buy now, or is he just looking?
He's in a lease and his lease is up, but we still have some time. He has like three months.
Maybe you want to just hold off for a couple weeks then.
Okay.
And
then I've been sending him properties because I just kind of I want to keep him in that phase of looking, but I don't think we need to go out and look per se. But he's how you have those buyers that want to find their own house, like they won't pick any of the stuff they send you, but they want to, that you send them, but they want to send you like Trulia or Zillow, kind of. Yeah, he's one of those kind of people.
All right.
So we'll see.
Okay. So, any other thoughts, Matt? No? All right. So, Megan.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. I couldn't do it fast enough. Yeah, guys, I think the grassroots ability to connect with people doing things that are tried and true and also kind of just forgotten about. Check in with your people, and you know, if you just come from contribution to see how they're doing, you know, they're going to ask you how you're doing, and don't sugarcoat it. You know, tell them, make sure that your people know that this is a challenge for real estate too, and that when we come out of this, you're going to need their help more so than ever. You know, and they're going to remember, oh, that person cared about me. And they thought, they try to ask what they could do for me. I'm going to do what I can for them, because people are still going to have to buy and sell houses, and they're still going to refer each other, and they're still going to ask people for recommendations, and you just want to be the forefront of their thoughts.
So that reminds me of something. I need to talk to Marco, but I don't know if you need something that you want to tell people. So my son is an Eagle Scout project away from being an Eagle Scout. And his project was supposed to start now, collecting clothing and goods for the homeless through school for the most part, right? They were going to have people just bring stuff in. They're mostly looking for men's stuff. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the PB&J project. They make sandwiches every Saturday morning, and they take it down to Ann Arbor and to downtown Detroit and hand them out. That's what they've done in the past. And then it expanded to clothing as well. So I'm going to have him make a video. I'm going to put it on Facebook, and then I'm going to tell the people that I call, hey, if you're taking this time to sort through all your things, and you want to give some stuff away, because donation centers like Salvation Army and all those guys are closed. They're not coming and picking clothes up or anything like that. So we're going to offer to come and just pick up bags of stuff. Like I said, though, for this homeless project, they're really mostly looking for men's stuff. Like not kids' clothes, I guess, is really what I'm getting at. But if you guys want more information about that, like keep an eye, and I'm going to put something out on my Facebook page, but that could be a way to be helpful. They might be cleaning out their closets and have bags full of stuff they want to get rid of. You can just swing by, pick them up, throw them in the back of your car, whatever. You're helping somehow and keeping your face out there. So, all right. So Thursday, Megan's going to tell us how far she's gotten in writing her letter and getting all her addresses and stuff together. Michelle's going to let us know how her conversions are going, some of those leads she's following up on. Sharon's going to let us know if she's heard back from any of her mailers, or are you doing some Facebook stuff too? No?
I tried and I didn't get anything from Facebook the last week. I don't
Okay.
think anyone's really like looking for a house on Facebook right now.
So what other thing could you do then that you can
Um,
report back to us on Thursday about?
I'm trying to figure out how I could do something to send out to like my followers, like my friends and my followers of my page. Just haven't figured out what I should put out there.
Matt, you're good at putting together messages that only go out to your network. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, so I created a custom friends list, right? So you can create custom friends list, because I'm friends with tons of realtors,
Yeah.
title people around and I just, it bugs me when I post something, they comment on it or this and that. It's like, you're not the reason I'm putting it out there. So I went through the time to actually put people into a custom
So
friends
I
list.
have everyone in a category now. I just don't
Okay.
know what to do with it.
So so you don't actually know how to do it, or just what to put?
No, I don't know like what to post really.
Yeah. I think that the things that go to just my close friends group or whatever, like the most heartfelt, things. Those are the people that know me, know my family and such. And I think that the message there is, something to the effect of, let's help each other in this time. If there's anything that anyone needs, feel free to post it below, and I have a lot of connections with people in different ways. So perhaps something that you need, you can help somebody something else. I saw a lot of people the past few days posting about sewing these face masks. I don't know the first thing about sewing, but then someone I saw posted, hey, if you go to Michael's, Michael's is, you know, the fabric, they're donating the fabric. You just, if you sew, you can go there and pick up fabric for free. I mean, I don't know any of the details of that, but if you're looked at as somebody who's connecting the dots, you can, you know, be helpful to people. You know, another one was seniors in need of food. And it was like, you know, who do I know that's a friend that knows someone that works in a restaurant that I can connect with so-and-so. So you just kind of have to come up with those connections in order to put it out there to the people.
Okay.
So it's less about real estate and more so
Yeah.
about helping.
Mhm. You're mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I thought I muted myself when I asked that.
So on Thursday, Sharon, what are you going to let us know that you've done? What are you going to update us on?
I guess like posting something to get through with my friends on Facebook and let you know how the mailers turn out.
Okay. What about you,
Can I
Dan?
ask a quick question, Sharon?
Oh, sure. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm making
so-
this list, by the way. I'm writing these things down because I'm going to ask everybody on Thursday how they're doing. Go ahead.
I'm supposed to have a closing this week,
Yep.
and I know the office is closed, and so I'm trying to move it to my title company, but was curious to know if, I don't know what's going to go on today as far as the lockdown goes, possibly. I guess my question is, I mean, it's probably new to you guys too, but
You got to call the title company.
okay. I was just curious.
I would imagine it's probably going to be like a split closing.
Okay.
What were they saying? You know, only one person in the room with the closer, like not even the agent?
Right. I only have one. I mean, my seller is just one person, so I'm assuming like that means me and the seller, or just her.
Just her.
Okay.
And the closer.
Gotcha.
Find out and report back to us.
Okay.
So
I'll add that to my list for Thursday.
Yes.
my closing on Friday was a little awkward because they were just kind of going with the flow of things. And I don't really know. I mean, for recording the deed, they could always do that later, but they had to fill out a form to do it electronically, and they don't know if they're going to get charged now or later. But for City Hall, I think it was open that day. We had to like look it up and call. But what would we do like now forward if City Hall is
Well, what do you
closed?
mean? Are you talking about the like
For filing the tax, like,
filing your exemption?
or for my clients to file the taxes, and then the recording, we just kind of have
So
the title.
the clients usually only have to go to City Hall to either rescind or request.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what they had to do, and then they couldn't because it was closed.
So you have 45 days to do that. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be the day of.
Right.
I would have them just sit tight and just kind of wait and see how the situation unfolds.
Yeah, because well, their house, the house they currently live in is Homestead, and they want to homestead their new house, right? So then apparently they have 3 days, but I don't know. I just kind of left it with title.
So,
Talk to them
but
about
have
that.
they listed their first house?
Yeah. Well, we just listed it Friday that day.
So, and there's no one in the city offices to ask a question to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Got it. What do you think, Matt? I mean, I think that if you just make copies of everything and
Nothing changes tomorrow. Your taxes won't change, anything like that. Just make sure you keep all documentation in a safe place. We're going to see lots of time frames being, extended, and even in terms of just people owing on mortgages and lots of things. So that would be the least of my concerns. Is not being able to file things within reason.
Okay.
But yeah, I would double
Yeah,
check
'cause
with the title company or even the local government. But if the local government shut down,
Right.
everything just gets pushed. It's
Okay.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I know.
Where
they
my
texted me this
concern is,
morning, but-
where my concern is, for people doing new listings or helping buyers purchase homes in areas that need city certifications and such, those things are probably going to be delayed or put on hold.
so let me tell you,
So
Westland, because so one of my listings, we're supposed to have pictures taken tomorrow. It's vacant. So I was actually doing it with Stylish Detroit. I was just confirming now to find out if she was still going to do it. What we had said last week was I was going to go in like an hour before, unlock the doors, turn all the lights on. She was going to come through, take all the pictures, and then we're good. But in Westland, currently they are only inspecting vacant properties as far as certificate of occupancy requirements. I don't know if that changes as of today, but my client ordered the inspection last Friday, so I'm sure they haven't actually done it yet. But that's a piece of information. You know, I think every municipality is doing everything differently. Okay, Dan, what are you gonna update us on for Thursday? How are you gonna keep doing some activities this week?
Well, it's funny that nobody mentioned Sphere because I was literally hitting my Sphere today. Phone calls, basically starting at A and doing that, kind of seeing how everybody's being affected by all that stuff. So I'm going to
Nice.
plug along with that.
Keep track of your numbers.
Okay.
Because then that's what you can fill us in on, like hashtag it. How many people did you try to contact? How many actually picked up? Right? And then that'll help you.
Right.
Kim, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You gonna let us know how all your phone calls are going to your school parents?
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to continue with my parents and my bear hunt and probably add in your son's clothing drive.
Cool.
Because I mean, so many people I've talked to, that's what they're doing. They're empty. I mean, I did the same thing. I emptied out closets and my basement, and it's amazing the amount of stuff I'm donating and getting rid of. So
Okay. I'll get the details on what stuff they're looking for specifically as well.
Okay.
So Tasha, what are you gonna update us on?
I have no idea.
That's not
I probably need to tap into my Sphere. I've been so focused on putting out fires. Like I signed the lease last week, and then I get a call yesterday that the lady wants to give the client the money back and doesn't want to continue with the lease over some stain in the carpet or something. So I have to fix that. And then my cash deal with the whole crazy inspection thing, the owner's not willing to lower the price. He's not willing to do any repairs. The agent, I just kind of feel like I'm the only person trying to push this deal. But given that there's going to be a shutdown, like my client was like, you know, we could do the mutual release, but, and I know this is not about me, but I don't feel like going out to show her no more houses. Like, so I'm going to try to save that. So I've been on the defense more so than the offense this week, but I do need to reach out to my Sphere, since that seems to be where my referrals are coming from. So that is my goal for this week.
good, because I would say you've got whatever 48 hours, right? No.
Yep.
72.
No.
Until Thursday. Right?
Oh, it's Monday. I don't even know what day it is. See what happens when you stay in the house too long? Okay.
So in 3 whole days of work, those phone calls and trying to keep those deals together doesn't have to take all of that time, right? So
no, we're at the point where either we're doing it or we're not.
Right. All right, cool guys. So thank you so much for coming into this meeting and being a part of it. And I love the Brady Bunch thing. Matt had to cut out early. Kim took off. We'll see you on Thursday. You guys will update us all, and then we'll do some quick little, hey honey, we'll do some quick little hot seat role play. Cool?
Cool. Hey Sharon,
yes.
I don't know if Kanita Harris is in launch. She's a newer agent, but she needs some help.
Okay.
I can text you her number.
We need everybody to get onto the Facebook page because everybody was welcome to get on here too if they want. All right, so
I don't even think she knows. Like, she didn't even know how to send me a friend request on Facebook, and I was trying to talk to her through Messenger. So, like, I'm gonna can I give her your number?
Is she officially?
She has a KW email and stuff now, but she has 2 clients, and she's trying to figure out how to do the relationship the buyer's agency thing.
Okay.
And she didn't appear to have a Dotloop account, but she had the, what's the other thing we're using?
We're not.
Oh, we're not switching?
DocuSign?
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
that's live yet.
So, and I don't know, I haven't been using DocuSign. I've been doing it the old way. And so when she was going into DocuSign, and she was like, Pete said he doesn't know if these things can be sent electronically. And then when I had her get into Dotloop, she didn't have a premium account. So I don't know if I can help her. So
I'll call her. I have her phone number.
okay. Okay.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Sharon.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Be safe.